Hello students, now let's move forward. Question number 8. First of all, read this question. A gardener has 1,000 plants. A gardener has 1,000 plants. He wants to plant this in such a way that the number of rows and number of columns remains same. Find the minimum number of plants he needs more for this. Okay, gardener has 1,000 plants. He wants to plant this in such a way that the number of rows and number of columns remains same. Find the minimum number of plants he needs more for this. Okay, now if we want to plant in such a way that number of rows and number of columns remain same, then total number of plants needs to have perfect square number. If it is perfect square number, so we can plant in such a way that number of rows and number of columns remains the same. Okay. Now why? Because total is equals to number of rows multiplied number of columns. Right? Number of columns. Okay. Now rows and columns both are same, then x multiply x square. Okay, and if you want to find the answer of x, then what you need to do? You need to take the square root. Okay, and if you want answer as an integer number, because number of rows and number of columns cannot be the decimal number, right? 2.5 row cannot be possible. It is always integer number. It is always natural number, right? So that your answer of x needs to have the natural number, right? So definitely you want here perfect square number, then only you can find the perfect answer. Okay, so for that what you want here, you want perfect square number. That means your total number of plants needs to be have perfect square number, then only you can find the square root. Okay, number of row multiply number of column, x multiply x square, and x, that is your number of rows, right? And if you want to find this answer as an integer number, so here you want perfect square number. If here perfect square number you have, then only you can get the integer answer. Okay, so number of plants needs to have the perfect square number. So here we need to check this is perfect square number or not. And if it is not perfect square number, then what is given to you? Find the minimum number of plant he needs more for this. That means he need to add the numbers. Alternately, this is similar type of question. That means this is non-perfect square number. What is the minimum number that we can add to make it perfect square number? Okay, that means here we need to use the addition process to make the perfect square number. Okay, find the minimum number of plant he need more. That means he need to add to this number. Okay, here 1,000 he have. How many more numbers he want to make this number as a perfect square number? That means this is the case of addition process to make the perfect square number. Okay, so for addition process we already know that we need to use the long division method. Okay, that we already learned in this exercise 6.4. What we need to do, if we want to make this number as a perfect square number by using the addition process, then we need to use the long division method. Okay, because here we need to add the plant, that means addition. Okay, so use the long division method for 1,000. First of all, we need to make the pair of two digits. Now here we have 10. 10 which is lies between 9 and 16. But we need to use this small number 3 square 9. So 3 multiply 3, 9, and 10 minus 9, 1. Now this 0 comes here, so it becomes 100. Now our answer multiply 2. 3 multiply 2, 6. 1 space blank and 1 space blank. Now if you use here 2, so 62 into 2. 62 into 2 it is 124, which is greater than 100. That means here we need to use the 1. So 61 ones are 61 and remainder is 39. But in addition process we do not have any use of remainder. Now in addition process what we need to do? We need to find the square of next number. Next number is 32. 32 square, it is 1024. Okay, we need to find the square of next number 32 square 1024. Now we have 1000 here, right? If we add 24, so it becomes 1024 and it becomes perfect square number. That we can easily make the number of columns and number of rows both are equal. Right? So what we need to do? We want first of all find out the difference. Okay, 1024 minus 1000, it is 24. That means here our answer is 24. If we add the 24, then it becomes perfect square number. Okay, so how many more plants we want? 24. 24 more plants we want, so it becomes 1024 perfect square number. So here our answer is 24. Okay, so gardener needs 24 more plants. Okay, so gardener needs 24 more plants. Here our question is over because we need to find how many more plants he need. So he need 24 more plants. Okay, so he planned in such a way that number of rows and number of column both becomes 7. Okay, now similar type of question we have, question number 9, but here we need to use the subtraction process. There are 500 children in school. There are 500 children in school. For a PT drill, they have to stand in such a manner that number of rows is equal to number of columns. How many children would be left out in this arrangement? Okay, here even what we want, number of rows is equal to number of columns. That means we want perfect square number. Okay, number of columns is equal to number of rows. That means we need perfect square number. Here we have 500 children. Now here we do not need to add the children. Okay, here we do not add the children, but what it is given in the equation, how many children will be left. Okay, that means how many children we need to subtract, so it becomes perfect square number. How many children we need to subtract? Left. Okay, left and subtract. How many children we need to subtract, so it becomes perfect square number that we need to find. And for subtraction process, we need to use the long division method. Right? For addition and subtraction process, we need to use long division method. For multiplication and division, we need to use prime factorization method. So here we need to use long division method. So use the long division method for 500. So here we need to put 1 0. So here we have the pair of two digits, right? Now first of all we have 5. 5 which is lies between 4 and 9. 5 it is lies between 4 and 9. Small number is 4. It is 2 square. So 2 square, that means 2 multiplied to 4. Here even we need to write the same digit. Okay. Now 5 minus 4 1. This 2 zeros comes down, it becomes 100. Now we have answer 2. We need to multiply with 2. So 2 multiplied to 4. 1 space blank, 1 space blank. Now if we use here 3, then 43 into 3, 3 3s are 9, 4 3s are 12, which is greater than 100. So decrease the number and use the 2 here. So 42 into 2, 84 and remainder 60. And that 2 here even we need to put. Okay. So it means what? 16 is remainder. So 16 students are left. Okay, 16 students will be left. Okay, we get the answer 22. That means we need to make 22 rows and 22 columns. Okay, 22 rows and 22 columns. Now 22 square is 484. Right, so total 484 students we want in the arrangement. Other 16, that means remainder 16 would be left. Okay, so how many we need to subtract here? 16, because here we want remainder 0. Okay, so if we want remainder 0, then we need to subtract this 16 from this answer. So we need to subtract this 16, right? So what is the equation? How many children will be left? So this 16 students will be left. So write down here 16 children would be left out in this arrangement. Okay, 16 students would be left out in this arrangement. So here we need to use the long division method. This remainder we want 0, so subtract this. So 16 students would be left out in this arrangement. Okay, so students, here our chapter number 6 is complete. If you have any doubt in this chapter, please write down in comment section. I will give you the answer. Okay, and please like the videos, share the videos and subscribe the channel. Okay, thank you.